Alright, so we started off this key by getting our Howl the Pack Leader using the Eyes of the Beast trick. We're going for a big first pull. We want to pre-mark one of the Subjugator. And I precast my puzzle box into a potion, take down the little opening. And the goal is to hard focus down this first Subjugator. I also saw I was getting targeted by a Leeching Void, so you can turtle that, and that's what I did. Just removes the application, the heal absorb, and then the mob does not get healed. Now this pool has 3 Subjugators, so we had a Shaman with Windrush Totem that cleared the first one. As Hunter, you have 2 other tools. You have Feign Death and Disengage. Both get rid of the chains of subjugation, so it's really useful to be using those. Now here's where some decisions can be made. So I have takedown up. I decide to just send it on these mobs because I know these champions are going to live for a while, and the champions do need to die. But the priority target is a Subjugator, so as soon as we pull that, I swap on over, and now we're focusing that down. It is also fine to blast the Bound Void Caller, as it is a very dangerous mob. So if you decide to do that, it is fine. We also are running a 4 melee comp with Mystery of Unholy Decay, Feral Druid, and obviously Survival Hunter. So on each of those chains of subjugation, you gotta kind of make sure you're spread, because if it overlaps and you both get ticked, it could one-shot you. So here again, I'm just sending my cooldowns on cooldown, just trying to get the most out of my damage. I also know that if we do pull the boss like this, it is going to be hard on our tank, so the sooner we kill these last couple remaining champions, the sooner we can easily pull the boss without a basically a tank fight. Don't forget to Hunter's Mark the boss when you pull it. That 3% damage does matter, especially considering it is your priority target. When you get to these high of the key levels, the oozing slam isn't the dangerous part, it is in fact the big one burst AoE, so I choose to hold my survival of the fittest for that. And then we are running with a monk and hunter, so we're able to CC the first 2 sets of, or the first 2 ads that spawn, and that way we don't have to worry about kiting and we can get better uptime on the boss. So yeah, you can see we used AMZ, and then I still personal that will get close to one-shotting at these 21, 22, maybe even 20, depending on how squishy you are. So I do use my exhilaration on the oozing slam when it comes out, though, if I do have it, just to help out the healer. This one I could have health potted just to be safe, but the healer kept me alive. So now comes the fun part where we're going to have to kite the rest of these. It is just better if your group is able to. I recommend it highly if you have a monk, because using Ring of Peace makes it quite easy for when he sucks in on this Crashing Void. So he can just Ring of Peace them, and then we don't have to worry about the mobs touching while the boss is standing still and sucking on the little orbs or blobs. So it's really important to get these Decimate casts where he leaps away, hike them away, give yourself plenty of room. As Hunter, you can also disengage just before the cast finishes, and the boss will jump to your previous location, but it will not hit you. You will be able to dodge that damage. It shouldn't one-shot you, but it's just nice. It helps your healing. You don't have to worry about healing you. Got really good damage here, so didn't need to worry about an extra set.
Building up its presence near the temple.
We are dragging these next mobs in. They're a bunch of just tiny mobs, so you don't really have to worry about hitting them. You don't have to focus on them. You just want to kind of be in position for the next. I was just kind of generating my Howl the Pack Leader, so I got that Wyvern ready for this next pool. I'm going to go ahead and precast it, because it does last for a while. And it's going to help me get to the boar sooner, and just rotate through the beasts. So I do opt to pop my potion here because we are going to rust trash, and so we have less for the third boss. That is an option some groups will run because the third boss is very dangerous. But this is a pool you have to be careful for. If you get the bleed and the big AoE is going up from this Rift Warden, make sure to use a defensive. So here I got it. I did not have a defense available, but I can use the health potion. And then use my acceleration to do it too. I could have turtled, but I trusted my healer and opted to do the other sources because I knew I would have been sitting in turtle for a while and therefore losing damage. But don't be afraid to do that. It's better to do that and then die. If you die, it's 15 seconds off the timer. On top of just any damage you would have lost. So here I'm pre-puzzle boxing as the tank is gathering. I recommend doing that as much as possible because a 2-second cast if you're not doing any damage is 2 seconds you lost. So if you can precast it within having your takedown ready, then I would recommend doing so. So again, priority mob here is Subjugator. It just does a lot of AoE, it heals up, so you want to kill it first, and then other stuff will follow. Again, just make sure you're spread for each of these chains of subjugations. And that's the Leeching Void. Turtle it again. It makes the mob die a lot faster because of it is Leeching Void, so any damage you take during it gets transferred to the mob. So the mob will be healed up. So that's why it's also you could run a Mortal Wounds pet, which I chose to opt for this dungeon. So if you put Mortal Wounds on those subjugators, they will heal less. Get stuck on a little tree here, of course.
I'm out of range.
Not much going on in this pack, it's just the AoE damage from the Rift Warden and then making sure you're kicking the bolts. The rest is up to the tank. Just try to focus down that Rift Warden so you can chain to a next pool, and it also just has the most health and is the most dangerous, so. I could have held the board there again, but I like to just send things on cooldown, keep things rotating. As you can see, I'm already halfway to getting my next beast by the time this pack is done. Now we're going to pull a bunch of these broken into the subjugators. I also there cast Eyes of the Beast because my beast, or Howl the Pack Leader, was about to fade, so that kept me in combat. So I didn't lose that one beast, and even though it was only the bear, arguably the weakest beast, I it just helps you get to your wyvern and your boars faster. So it's always good to do it no matter what beast that's coming up. So we are going to lust the next pull. I could have saved my puzzle box, but as you will see here shortly, we actually killed the pack with like a couple seconds of lust remaining. So we did not need the extra damage, so it's better in hindsight for sure just to send it here and then have it one pull earlier as well. And again, always be on the lookout for those leeching voids. You save your healer a lot of stress. You save some. You just deal extra damage effectively by reducing the healing, by turtling those. The tank is running ahead, just letting these drag along. We're just hitting them just for some extra damage. These do need to die. Also helps us cycle through our beasts, so as soon as I get close here, you see I'm instantly getting ready to swap. And there we go with the lust. And survival is all about position. If you notice there, I moved behind the mob to angle my boomstick at all the mobs that were being dragged in. Now I know a lot of groups do like to lust the boss here, which I think is fine as well. Both this boss and the third boss are very dangerous. I would say the third boss becomes more dangerous the higher you go, as the tentacles do tend to live longer, and if they tend to overlap with the big AoE circle, it will cause some deaths, pretty guaranteed. So again, just sending cooldowns on cooldown. Try to do as much as possible, that way you can sneak in an extra usage or two throughout the course of your 30-minute dungeon. And again, make sure you're spread for these chains of subjugation. If you're overlapping, especially in a heavy melee comp, you are going to potentially get one shot. And instantly feign as soon as you can, or disengage. I prefer feign, as it obviously does not shoot you back, so you have to worry about disengaging into other mobs. That is a very dangerous thing. If you do accidentally pull mobs by trying to disengage, just be very careful, know where you're looking to disengage. But I would default to feign death, and make sure you do take the feign death talents for this dungeon, that reduced cooldown. That way they're up for every subjugation cast. Again, this is a pool with a Rift Stalker and the Rift Warden, so if you do get the bleed, watch your health. It is very dangerous. So here I got it, I instantly defensive, because I know this Rift tear is about to happen, so it's the big AoE. So be careful, boss spawns as soon as that Rift Warden dies. You do not want to pull it if you have other mobs ready, especially if your tank is not ready. So these mobs don't matter as much, so I am holding my cooldown here. We're just basically waiting for the tanks to gather. I do seem boomstick just because it is such a short cooldown. And try to puzzle blocks as the tank's getting ready to pull, so I lose minimal uptime on the boss. Now here I accidentally touched one of these balls. I did not see it, but you want to try to avoid that as much as possible. If you get it, don't freak out. It's not a huge deal, just watch your health and be ready to deal with it. Now the big scary stuff is this overload overlap, so you can turtle the overload, you won't get the dot, and that is predictable damage you can do. You cannot really predict the little pounces from the cap. So make sure you are watching out for that, and if you do get an overlap at all, you have to defensive or your healer's gonna hit you. And just remember to spread here, try to grab all the orbs you can. If you don't get them all, it's not the end of the world. Your tank can try and pick them up. But do your best. As survival, you have many range abilities to be casting, so you don't have an excuse for not going to range to grab a couple. So here I picked up another ball. It is hard to see, but try to do your best to look out for it. Mistakes will happen, but don't let it freak you out. So because we got the AMZ, I opted to not use the defensive that was coming up and instead save it for the next one. I used Exhilaration to kind of top myself in case I do get that overlap, the healer can respond. We did lose our shaman to a pounce, and at the end of that overload, looked like the healer was struggling at the end, or maybe they had a lag spike. I think that's been happening to some people lately. But either way, they just unked, so we saved a B-res, and then we just keep on going. I do like to defensive every overload I can, because usually there is a pounce in the middle of it, and if you can help your healer by being as topped as possible during it and be ready for the pounce initial damage instead of just reacting to it, it is very nice. So yeah, the healer did chi cocoon me when I got, or life cocoon when I got pounced there. I don't think that was necessary. I did have Exhilaration and my health potion ready. But either way, he did it. I then turtled that overload, so if I do get the overlap, it's not a huge deal. Fortunately, our healer did there, but they are doing well. And boss is about to die, but do not let that fool you. You can still die at any moment on this boss with a bad overlap. Here I'm just committing, and then we don't really need to worry about this. But you do not want to overlap at least, because in the case that it does happen, someone will die. There again, I used the Eyes of the Beast trick to put me in combat, so I continued my beast, so I got my bear. When you are doing this pull though, be careful. When you are in combat and your pet is in combat, it does move slow. So your pet might, just pathing wise, try to run through some mobs that you're skipping here, because we did not pull that first pack and we're trying to skip the second one. You can see how, because we have pets on the mob and we don't want the mob to pull to that other defender that was on the right. So the tank was specifically waiting for that. So here's an eruption, try to defensive them, you can turtle them to remove the dot. Unfortunately our shaman got clipped from just elevation, it looks like is my guess. Couldn't tell he was actually in it. We rezzed him, and we keep going. If these abyssal enhancement casts do go off, it's not a huge worry. Just be ready to tranquilize shotgun. You can remove it. It is a magic effect. Or enrage, I forget which. But either way, as a hunter, you can remove them. So do that. It is pulsing AoE. You do not want that on your group. Alright, so here we're doing the skip. You can do it as a hunter with disengage, and Druid should be able to do it as well, but he was kind of waiting for me to do it. You just have to jump on the ledge, and then disengage. It is a tight timer, so if you have not done it before, I'd recommend going into an M0 or even a normal or whatever and practice that jump if you were trying to do it. And then you can help the rest of your group get up, just getting on a two-seater, and then they will mount from that spot, jump, and they should be able to jump in your passenger seats. So here's a big pull. I believe I played this one kind of poorly, but either way, you just try to focus one down, one of the weavers down. If you get targeted by Void Infusion, feign death it. Wait for the channel to actually go off on you. Don't do it precast, because you want to actually get rid of the effect. You don't just want anyone to cast on anyone else. So here I get targeted, I feign. As soon as it goes, you're going to get hit by like one tick, but that's okay. One tick isn't going to kill you. You just want to help your healer by not getting hit by anything. And make sure you're always looking out for these balls. You might be able to live these balls if your healer is on top of it, but you do not want that stress on your healer. And you don't want to have to waste the defensive here. So again, feign death, the Void Infusion. I am choosing to save my cooldowns here because this boss is dangerous and I know we're doing well on time. So I'm choosing to save it because we're going to lust here. I believe we lust on pull here because if we do, we will have enough time for a second one potentially. And it's just going to help us get less phases of the tentacles. So make sure you're dodging balls. If you get this mass infusion, even though it technically doesn't target you, it is a channel on you like the subjugation cast. You can cancel it. So if you ever get it, make sure you feign death it to cancel it. So here's the tentacle spawning. You want to swap to the tentacles as soon as possible in these high keys. Don't even cleave off boss, just hit the tentacles. Even these single ones. We did skip this one pack, so we have to be careful. But you want to kill these as soon as possible. I was a bit scared to get close here because I knew the knockback was coming. You still want to try and target the one out there. If you do not kill it and we are heavy melee, you can stun it, so I used Intimidation. I did do it a bit early. Luckily we didn't lose anyone because of it. And then I did use Aspect of the Eagle a bit early because I was scared of the knockback. But ideally in that phase, even if like all taking damage, if there's one alive, you want to Aspect of the Eagle and try to focus that down as soon as possible. From here on, it's just pretty much a rinse and repeat, but just make sure you're on top of it. And I try to defensive every big AoE phase. So here we got a decent stack. The balls are a bit bad. It's okay though. So I choose to target this one because I figured everyone else would go for that. I think I messed up here. I wasn't looking for that properly. So I disengage, try to get back. Aspect to the cheetah, and then I'm running to boss. They're Intimidation, the tentacle, so that it's not doing its AoE here, and the Ellie Shaman finishes it off. Now there is an argument to saving your cooldowns for that tentacle phase to help it go faster, and I think that's something I could have done. I opted to go for boss damage because I figured one less tentacle phase would be better than doing that, as you are losing boss damage or sending damage on the tentacles. Although as Survival Hunter, in this situation, you do have really good cleave with your takedown and other damage sources. Ideally, if you are playing with a range in this situation, your range should target one of the solo ones. So here's where I should have done the aspect of the eagle on the little guys. I kind of trusted our Ellie Shaman to finish them off, and that we would live it. Luckily we did live it. But in hindsight, I should have just focused the tentacles. And then boss should die here, we shouldn't get another set. Just, again, don't get hit by the balls. If you get mass infusion, feign it. And now we're on to the last boss. So it is a long RP time here.
Despair emanating from within.
So you want to get your next piece going.
Yes, the Naru.
So I do the Eyes of the Beast trick. I did not continue the previous one that was about to pop because it does take so long. That beast would have faded because it is the same duration as this Howl of the Pack Leader. So you would see it would be faded.
Heroes.
And here I'm joking with the DK because there's nothing to do here, so we're just chatting a bit. He said don't use your CDs on pull, but as survival you can use your takedown. Do not use puzzle box, do not use potion. You want to save that for
such musings can wait though.
Save that for the damage ant phase. Always start with your Hunter's Mark. It's going to empower your takedown, your roar, whatever ability you have on top of everyone else's. And this is a very scary healer boss, so help out your healer where you can. It's this, all the overlaps with the beams, try to defensive them. You can drag the boss to the corner like we are, and you will get 4 of the beams at once. So here we lost the Ellie Shaman. I mean that's part of our comp. We have Survival Hunter and the Ellie Shaman. Both are extremely tanky, and I got the Life Cocoon, not the Ellie Shaman. So I don't think that AMZ was necessary. I think that was a bit preemptive. Both my teammates got it as if there were only 2 left, so I don't need to do anything here. I just got the turtle just to make sure I don't die, even though I was fairly healthy. So save your puzzle box and all your damage for when the boss shrinks like this. This is the actual damage up, not the previous cast. I did instinctively press Lust here. We still are on CD for 5 minutes as we used it on the 3rd boss, and I forgot. But either way, just do good damage here. And this part is the most dangerous one, so watch your health. I used Exhilaration. I am watching my health. I am sitting on my health pot just in case. We did not quite make it to the corner, so we are only going to get 3 this time. That means it's going to be a little bit more dangerous on the next set. No one did die here though, so we are fine. We got a weird positioning because again we got those, only got 3 of them. Here I was debating whether or not I use takedown. I ended up using it here. Because you can, if you do miss your 2nd set to where there's 1 left, you will line up your next 2 minutes with the damage up. Now, luckily we didn't do that because our tank did die to the burst, so instead of the boss going and meleeing someone else, he was just beginning to cast his damage ant phase. So now we're doing big damage. I do not have my cooldown here, which is my bad. I wasn't sure what we were doing. It's not bad to ask your tank or your group what you plan to do. Either way, I do not think we would have two-faced it. Here I almost dropped to 1 because of the big AoE after the damage. I health potted instinctively. I don't know if it was necessary, but it just helps. Here I'm trying to cast my puzzle box during the beams. It's very scary. 2-second cast of standing still as these beams are going on, so be careful. I do send my cooldowns here because I wasn't sure if we were going to get another phase, so I just sent it. Here the healer is struggling. I did use Turtle and Spiral to finish because I knew there wasn't really going to be much more damage after this. Our DK did end up falling, but we still have another res. We had 3 reses for this boss, actually. Now, boss is almost dead. We just live this, get the next damage phase, and boss is dead from here. Yeah, there's a lot of hunter tricks to do in this key. I could do a lot of stuff. As you can see, Hunter does very well in this key as well. Big damage, and that was my resil 21. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I didn't stream this one on Twitch, but I do stream on Twitch. So if you guys want to see more Survival Hunter, please come check me out. I appreciate it all, and thank you.